Welcome back, everybody. So, The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 2 review. It has been a while, I have to be honest with you, but now is the perfect time for me to start reviewing these episodes again. So, in this second episode, what do I honestly think about this episode? Yep, I've forgotten how much I actually did enjoy it. I didn't expect too much, but yet there was more going on in this episode than I remembered. And I literally just finished watching this episode as well. So, in this episode, it is mainly centered around basically Carl getting to a farm in this episode, and him, or basically the fight for his survival after being shot from this first episode. In this episode, we also get introduced to some of the greatest characters out of the whole of the Walking Dead universe. We got Herschel, we've got Maggie, we got that whole family that are getting introduced in this second episode. Mainly Maggie. I love Herschel. I love Maggie. She's still in this in the Walking Dead even to now, which is absolutely fantastic. It's like the best. These characters now are just absolutely fantastic. That are still there from season 2, even season 1. It's just absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. 2 bits. But like I said, this whole episode its main focus is basically Carl's fight for survival, and basically Herschel's kind of it's Herschel's kind of mission, or it's been put on to him to basically save Carl. There is a lot of tension in this episode, I have to admit. Obviously, which is what you would expect, especially from Rick and Laurie. Obviously, they're being the parents of Carl. There's a lot of that anguish, or the fact that they could actually lose their son through this. And in these uncertain times, you really get that sense of what they're going to go through in this whole episode. I generally really enjoy it, even to the point where Otis, even who's the person who shot Carl, even puts his hand up to go and get the supplies to help for Carl's survival, because he feels so bad, but yet he knows it's an accident, but yet he feels so bad for doing it, so he's doing his part, and he goes off with Shane to do it. I generally like this as well. He took full-on responsibility for this. He's feeling awful, and he will do anything he can to keep the survival of Carl, which that side of that story does happen in this, but we get to see a truer picture of this in a next, I think it's the next episode. Other things that are going on in here, again, looking for Sophia. The rest of the team or gang is looking for Sophia in the woods. Um, Again, not a huge amount happens in there. We got the bit with T-Dog. His arm infection is getting slightly worse. You can see that kind of, you can see the deterioration in him. He's starting to really start losing his mind. I generally like that side of it as well. This whole episode, like I said, is full of tension. It's full of kind of not upsetting content. It's the wrong word I'm looking for. It's just that kind of anxiety. Is if it's the first time you ever watched it, you'll be thinking like, okay, so does Carl get through this? It's that kind of sense that you get with this. There is a race against time here, and I generally liked what they did with this episode. The one thing though that stands out more than anything else with this episode and the series, or these early seasons, is how different The Walking Dead is now compared to what it was when it first started. I've forgotten, especially now, season 10, or nearly the end of season 10, even though that last episode's been delayed, is how different it is, and even how different some of the characters are in The Walking Dead. You got Rick. I know Rick's not in season 10, but before he left, the change he went through. Exactly the same with Daryl as well. The change he's gone through. Maggie as well, exactly the same, and even Carol as well. I think they're the only ones that are left from like season 2, or season 1 and season 2, and it's just absolutely fantastic. It's that change. It just hit me really really hard. But I also generally like in this episode is the fact that it's still quite early on. It's not. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about The Walking Dead that I love so much. There's just something about the progression between season 1 and season 10, knowing everything they've had to go through, and knowing I'm doing this review as like a retrospective review, and I've seen every single episode of The Walking Dead, and I just enjoy talking about The Walking Dead, and I enjoy about everything that goes on, and I enjoy the second season as well because things start to change. And again, this episode is, I admit that The Walking Dead is full of tension, full of emotion, full of all sorts of different emotions. I get it, but it just makes it for an entertaining watch. And this episode is a classic one of them, which you get to see quite a lot of over the next another 8 seasons. So like, yeah, 8 seasons, and I just generally love it. It's just this episode is a great version of that. Even seeing all the old characters again and rewatching them, it just reminds me of how much I actually enjoy it. And like I said, this episode is just a classic episode like that. I love everything to do with it. Even Carl being as young as he was as well. I just really really good. And the fact, oh, I love The Walking Dead. It's as simple as that. And this episode is a great example of that because this is pretty much the trend of the whole Walking Dead. They have to go through all these hard things to get through and to survive. And this is brilliant. And you've got the scavenging for the medical supplies in this episode. It's just absolutely fantastic in every single way. So, on that note, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below as normal. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye.